Rangers head into the January transfer window facing some uncomfortable decisions as they continue to reassess the fallout from a chaotic summer. One of those calls centers on Youssef Chermiti, a signing that was meant to signal ambition, but has instead become a growing talking point around Ibrox. With change already sweeping through the club behind the scenes, fresh developments around the striker's future are beginning to emerge, and they could have significant implications for how Rangers reshape their squad in the weeks ahead. Let's break this down in today's video, along with all the other Rangers news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Rangers' disastrous summer recruitment continues to cast a long shadow over Ibrox, with Rangers now reportedly prepared to sanction Youssef Chermiti's departure when the January transfer window opens. The Portuguese striker arrived in Glasgow in the summer for an initial £8 million, a deal driven by then sporting director Kevin Thelwell, who followed Chermiti north from Everton. At the time, the move was framed as a major statement of intent. Instead, it has unraveled into one of the most costly misjudgments the club has made in decades. Chamiti has managed just one goal in 18 appearances, a strike against Kilmarnock in late October, and has struggled badly to justify either his fee or his wages. With Thelwell now gone and the managerial regime that sanctioned the signing long since dismantled, Rangers are understood to have clearly communicated to Chamiti that his future lies away from Ibrox. The club are said to be open to either a loan or a permanent sale, fully aware that moving on a player so soon after a major financial outlay presents both financial and reputational problems. Nevertheless, there is a growing acceptance that cutting losses now may be preferable to carrying the burden further into the season. One source close to the situation has suggested that Rangers recognise the difficulty of the task ahead. The numbers involved are awkward, they said. Everyone knows how much was spent and how early this would be, but the wages alone make it unsustainable to simply let this drift. Another insider added, if Rangers are paying most of his salary on loan, then what's the point? That defeats the whole purpose. Interest from elsewhere has been tentative at best. Clubs monitoring Chamiti are believed to be operating on tight budgets and are wary of both his salary and his valuation. Rangers, however, are thought to accept that a financial loss is inevitable. The reality is stark. This signing has become the symbol of a recruitment drive that went badly wrong. While others from the same intake have underwhelmed, none carry the same weight of expectation or scrutiny as an £8 million striker who has failed to deliver. That scrutiny is only heightened by Chamiti's track record prior to arriving in Glasgow. He failed to score a single goal in 2 years at Everton after signing for a fee that could rise to £15 million and was allowed to leave despite the Merseyside club's own issues in the position and the looming free transfer departure of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. In hindsight, it is extraordinary that Rangers not only took the gamble, but made Chermiti their most expensive signing in over 20 years. There was a brief moment of optimism when Chermiti scored his first Rangers goal under Danny Rowe, who had just secured his first win in charge. That strike hinted that the forward struggles could be attributed to the chaos of the Russell Martin era. Yet that promise has not been followed by progress, and patience has now run out. The one positive is the speed with which the new ownership appears to be confronting uncomfortable truths. Under Andrew Kavanagh and the 49ers enterprises, Rangers have already acted decisively. Martin was dismissed, Thelwell and Patrick Stewart soon followed, and now the Chermiti experiment looks set to end. Even so, the damage has been done. Time, money, and momentum were squandered during a summer that should have propelled Rangers forward. Instead, it has left them scrambling during what is arguably the most open Scottish Premiership title race in years, a missed opportunity that may yet define the season. In other news, calls for Rangers to be ruthless in the January transfer window are growing, with former Ibrox midfielder Derek Ferguson singling out Max Aarons as a player the club should look to move on. Aarons arrived in Glasgow on a season-long loan from Bournemouth during the summer, billed as serious competition for the established right-back options at Ibrox. However, his time at Rangers has been a mixed one. While there have been signs of improvement in recent weeks under head coach Danny Röhl, doubts remain over whether the 25-year-old is capable of performing to the standard required at a club with Rangers' expectations. With January fast approaching, attention has turned to how aggressively Rangers will reshape their squad. Backed by the financial intent of Andrew Kavanagh, there is an expectation that reinforcements will arrive, but that spending is also likely to be accompanied by departures. Ferguson believes Aarons should be among those heading for the exit door. Speaking on the open goal on the 18th of December, Ferguson made his feelings clear when discussing which players Rangers should look to offload. "Aarons, I don't think he's good enough," he said. "I know he's given him an opportunity, but I don't like a lot about him. He's kind of quite negative for me." Those comments cut to the heart of the issue facing Rangers. Aarons was signed to challenge and potentially relieve long-serving captain James Tavernier, but after a difficult early spell, he quickly fell out of favour. Although Röhl has turned back to him at times due to limited options, the long-term picture remains unconvincing. Encouragingly for Rangers, the return to fitness of Dujon Sterling has offered a timely boost. The former Chelsea defender has added balance, athleticism, and composure to the back line, qualities that had been sorely missed during a period disrupted by injuries to John Souttar and Derek Cornelius. Supporters will be hoping Sterling can now stay fit for the remainder of the campaign. Aarons is not the only defender whose future is uncertain. Clinton Enciala is expected to be allowed to leave during the winter window, with Rangers also open to parting ways with Joe Rothwell, Kieran Dowell and Matondo as Röhl looks to streamline his squad. At the heart of that rebuild is a clear defensive concern. Performances from Nasser Jager and Emmanuel Fernandez have exposed the fragility at the back, underlining the need for a commanding, reliable centre-half. With January looming, Rangers appear poised for decisive action. And if Ferguson's view is shared internally, Aarons' time at Ibrox may already be running out. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We post all the latest Rangers news every single day, so join our fast-growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.